Hey guys, welcome back to Pixel Rich Games. In this episode of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, we're gonna have a look at the moves of my favorite princess in this game, Mipha. As usual, we start off by looking at her information panel. We have two types of attack in Age of Calamity, Y for regular attacks and X for strong attacks. The arrows we see here indicate the different combinations that we can chain as combos. More on this later. Let's have a look at our Princess 7 consecutive regular attack combo. As we see in her most basic combo, Mipha has a lot of acrobatic moves in her kit. Unlike Spear Link, who wants to keep charging forward, I would describe our Hime-sama's attack patterns to be like a wave. She still wants to keep moving forward, but does so while moving up and down. The water fountain from X, our strong attack, doesn't deal damage to enemies, but the actual swing of our weapon and melee range still does, as we can see here. The fountain does heal allies. This excludes Mipha herself, but this isn't something we can do on the fly during fights. The healing time takes too long and it isn't much. Also keep in mind that we can only have one fountain active at a time. Recasting a fountain will cancel the previous one like so. Now that we all get how her Y and X work, let's go back to Mipha's information panel to look at her unique action, or ZR. This button simply lets us shoot up from an existing fountain. Mipha's enhanced ability makes her cause splash damage to nearby enemies when she shoots up from a waterfall. Reading Hime-sama's unique action description doesn't really impress. It's cool that she's able to blink in and out, but there are other champions that do this better than her. Or so I thought. I leveled Mipha up to level 80, no military training camp used, without actually realizing the full potential of this amazing ability. This, I must say, is magical. Before we go there, let's go through her other attacks and combos first. Let's have a look at the two types of dash attacks that she has. This is her regular dash attack, and this is her strong dash attack. Moving on to her YX combos, we always start with the simplest, so here's her 1Y straight to an X. This makes her swing twice and a fountain of water appears after the second swing. YYX also makes her swing her weapon twice before charging forward with her spear that's led by a ball of water that turns into a fountain when it reaches the end of its path. This is 3 Ys before an X. This combo launches a UFO forward a distance before it explodes. This combo is one of a kind because it doesn't leave a fountain after the UFO explodes. Four Ys to an X, on the other hand, is our first combo that produces a waterfall at the end of it. Just take note of the vertical spinning attack, as that is the 4th Y before the X. Similar to a good number of champions, 5 Ys to an X and 6 Ys to an X share the same finisher to the combo. This is 5 Ys to an X, and here's 6 Ys to an X. The only difference between the two is the move where Mipha plants her spear on the ground to do the Neo vs Team Smith move. Let's proceed to the moves in Hime-sama's kit that aren't written in her information panel. First is wall jumping. There isn't a button in this game to make a character jump. What we need to do is dash towards a structure by pressing B, then the option to wall jump will pop up, telling us to press B again if we want to jump. Once airborne, whether from a wall jump or an attack that launched us, we have a good number of options of what we can do next. Our first option is to simply glide away in peace, which I use to either avoid fights when I'm in a hurry or to reposition myself in a boss fight. Next, we can do 3 Ys. This makes Mipha slash twice, then do a vertical spinning attack till she lands back on the ground. We can also go straight to an X or place it after a maximum of 3 Ys. The strong attack will make Mipha dive back to the ground and then conjure a fountain in front of her right after. Now I want to show you guys the second part of the magical combo that I talked about earlier. Remember what our ZR does? It makes Mipha shoot up from a fountain or a waterfall that she has on the battlefield. Now have a look at what we can do because of this unique ability. Isn't this amazing? This is one reason why I said at the start of this video that Mipha's combat flow is literally like a wave. Since we aren't carrying a shield, we lose the ability to perform perfect guards. If you don't know what that is, check out my guide to one-handed weapon link, links in the description. Even if we lost perfect guard, we still have access to Flurry Rush. This can be triggered by dodging with B right as a boss is about to hit us. Once it triggers, we just mash Y to destroy their weak point meter. Let me save my favorite moves plus the magical combo for last, so let's proceed with Mipha's rune abilities for now. We can activate a rune by holding R and then pressing X, Y, A, or B. R plus X activates stasis that can freeze enemies in front of Mipha. What I don't like about Mipha's version is she's limited to just performing one strong attack. Once she does, stasis will break and Mipha creates a fountain in front of her. R plus Y activates Remote Bomb. Now this is my favorite rune ability of Hime-sama. It's basically a shower of bombs. This is good in boss fights and it can speed up wrecking the boss's weak point meter. Aside from Mipha's other abilities that naturally give her the option to be airborne almost all the time, which makes Wizzrobes easier to deal with, her Remote Bomb just makes them a joke. R plus A is for Crayones. This creates an ice pillar right in front of Mipha. That's it. The last rune is Magnesis that can be activated with R plus B. This is almost the same with Link's Magnesis except we don't have the ability to swing it around. Not to worry, Remote Bomb's usefulness more than makes up for the other 3's lackluster. Now is the time that I get to share my favorites. First are Mipha's weak point attacks. So once we're able to completely break a boss's weak point meter, we'll be able to do a weak point attack by pressing X. There are 2 common weak point attack animations. Here's the first. And here's the second. She does have other weak point attack animations depending on the enemy she's fighting. Like in my other guides, I'm not gonna include those here to avoid spoiling them for you. Next is Mipha's special attack. So once we fully charge our stamina bar by killing monsters, we're able to perform a special attack by pressing A. Not only does the special attack deal a ton of damage, heal allies near us, this time including ourselves, we can also use this to avoid the damage from big attacks that we're about to receive. When a boss is about to hit us, we can simply press A, and once the animation starts, the attack that was about to hit us will be cancelled. Last but definitely not the least is Mipha's magical combo. So I already showed you guys the second half of it where Hime-sama can infinitely jump out of a fountain to do her aerial combos. Depending on what we need, we can actually use any of our combos that produces either a fountain or a waterfall. Well, that's like everything minus 3 Ys to an X. Another thing that makes this magical is we can actually ZR up to 5 consecutive times. Imagine my surprise when I learned this at level 81. These 3 components combined is Mipha's magical combo. Let me do the longest variation, 6 Ys to an X, followed by 5 ZRs, then topped off with the start of our infinite aerial combo. Click here to watch my full guide to another awesome champion. Bye bro, you nobo. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified for more Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity content. Stay tuned for my next vid. Stay healthy, keep safe, and God bless us all.